looking at you from the natural eyes, but they don't see. You know, but only the ones like Nebuchadnezzar, and they are not always many. Sometimes even those that try to perceive it, they will call it positive energy. You get it? It's not positive energy. I was telling my wife, it is grace. It is Jesus with me. He gave me this word. He said I will manifest myself. So where I go, Jesus is with me. So it's not positive energy. I don't want to talk about it with But that's the best way they can describe it. It's not positive energy. It's the invincible God that is with you. So you are going through this situation and people are wondering, how is it not affected? It's invisible. There's an invisible. Let me tell you something. Some of you walked in here with fear for what will become of your results. Believe me, I speak under the inspiration of the Lord. You are going home with calmness, with peace. Everybody is crying about it. You will be laughing. In the name of Jesus Christ. What is killing others will not kill you. Listen to me, I mean what I'm saying. I said, what is killing others? What is making others bow their head will not touch you. I believe by the reason of this anointing, you are exempted. You are exempted. You are exempted. In the name of Jesus Christ. So they came out. Watch this. Thank you, Jesus. And the satraps, administrators, governors, and the kings, counselors gathered together, and they saw this man on whose body the fire had no power. The fire had no power. I said, no devilish power will have power over you. In the name of Jesus. Nothing of the enemy will have power over you. By the reason of this faith you are receiving right now in the name of Jesus. Say their hair, the hair of their head was not singed, nor were their garment afflicted. And the smell of the fire was not even on them. How can that be? Even when I cook in the kitchen, sir, with extractor fan, there is this smoke and the smell of what I'm cooking on my body. How can they be put in this sort of fire and there's even not? I understand if they were not born. But what about smell of fire? But that's what God does. It's a God that does the impossible. And faith is what partners you to that invincible God for you to do the possible. Alright, let's bring this to close. Number 6. Are you getting anything from this? Yes. I know you just feel that your faith is going to another level. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Glory to God. That's what, you see, that is the privilege you have in Christ. Let me tell you something. Christianity is not an ordinary life. Please don't see. You see, the world is in a very, very messed up place right now. And the way Christianity is being presented, I mean, how can you say Christianity is the opium of the masses? So I'm telling you, that's what the world is saying. And you're relegating us to just some bunch of ignorant people who just have a quick fix on every Sunday service. No, we are more powerful than that. Let me tell you something. We have the solution to the world. Yes. There is nothing enviable. There's nothing enviable about anybody that is not in Christ. Believe me, I'm telling you the truth. I can tell you this. At this level I am, and the exposure I have, and the people I've met, and the kind of meetings I've sat down in, I can tell you that you are what you have more enviable than any man that does not know God. Yes. No matter how they paint it, they are in a confused state. Yes. Yeah. I'm being honest with you. I knew this verse from the scripture before I had the privilege of entering the corridors of power. For you to know that, you know what, let me tell you something, you are enviable. So you must live that way. So Christianity is not for the weak. We are powerful beings. We have capacity to change climate, to change atmosphere. I have never had one day, sir, of entering a situation, I said it before, of being in a place where things are going wrong and I live in the same way. How can you be a carrier of Jesus Christ? It's impossible. It's impossible. You see, I'm telling you the truth. That's who you are. It's not only, I don't know what I was talking to you yesterday. I was talking about it. You were the one that said that's not an exclusive thing to pastors. People think this life of faith and exploit and miracle is exclusive to people who preach. No. He said, this sign shall follow those that believe. How many people believe it? How many believers do we have here? You qualify. If the same spirit that rose Jesus dwells in your mortal body, same spirit, not an inferior spirit. So look at yourself differently. You see where we will end this teaching now. We are going to do an exercise. Some of you will be the one that will perform your own miracle yourself. Number 6, what is faith? Number 6, what is faith? What is faith? Let's do this another 10 minutes. What is faith? Faith is a form of spiritual engraftment into divinity, which enables you to walk in practical dominion and victory. Faith is what? A spiritual engraftment into divinity. Into what? Divinity. That enables you to walk in practical dominion. The word engraftment there is an agricultural term. How many of you have heard that word before? You know what it means? Let me read the scripture, then I'll explain what it means. Romans 11:11 to verse 20. I say then, they have stumbled that they should fall. Certainly not. But through their fall, to provoke them to jealousy, salvation has come to the Gentiles. Listen carefully. Verse 12. Now, if their fall is riches for the world, and their failure riches for the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I'm an apostle to the Gentiles, I magnify my ministry. Verse 14. If by any means I may provoke to jealousy those who are my flesh, and save some of them, for if their, watch this, for if their being cast away is the reconciling of the world, what will their acceptance be but life from the dead? For if the first fruit is holy, watch this, if the first fruit is holy, Harosha, if the first fruit is holy, the lump is also holy, and if the root is holy, so are the branches. Paul begins to go into agricultural principles here. He says, and if some of the branches were broken off, watch this, and you being a wild olive, that is talking about life without Christ, all the crazy stuff we can do as unbelievers. And you being, because you were broken off, watch this, and being a wild olive, were grafted in among them, and with them became a partaker of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Verse 18. Do not boast again against the branches. But if you do boast, remember that you do not support the root, but the root supports you. You will then say, branches were broken off that I may be grafted in. Well said, because of unbelief they were broken off. And you stand by faith. Do not be haughty, but fear. That word fear is being referenced. In other words, don't be proud because you are born again now and enjoying life, and you start beginning to speak to people, downgrading, those who are unsaved. But what is it trying to say? Remember your life without Christ. You were an wild olive. You were broken off the branch. Remember what Jesus said in John 15, I'm the vine. You are the branches. That's why they can talk about the fruits, the roots, and the what? The branches. And so the Bible here is saying here that, for instance, sorry, can I take this off? Is it? Can I do that? Yes, I can. This root represents you when you were not born again. You don't believe, you don't have faith. Or maybe you once believed, but you denied faith. As you are cut off, you become a white olive, nothing to treasure about. You become a problem child. You become an embarrassment. You become rebellious. But the most dangerous thing to this branch that is cut off, that Jesus said, it withers without the vine. It does not bear fruits without the vine. And you follow it? But what the scripture is saying here is that when faith comes alive, even though you are broken away, there is an agricultural principle that is called grafting. That's what medical science uses for surgery. Grafting. is to take a piece of flesh from another part of the body to cover another, and it grows back. And so Jesus is saying here to us, faith comes in. Even though you were broken before, and you are living a life of defeat, because you begin to wither. You don't bear fruit anymore. You are trampled upon. You become beneath, not above. Because you are not on the tree. You are falling off, which represent defeat and obscurity. But when faith comes alive, just like scripture says in Job, there's hope for a tree that is cut down, because at the scent of water, it will bud again. So what faith does is to take you in the place of defeat, where the enemy begins to ravage your life, and you begin to realize all kinds of stuff springing forth from your life, and you begin to go through decadence, and you become a subject and a captive of the enemy. He can punch you whenever he likes. Your life begins to go in the opposite direction. You begin to fail in all that you do. You suddenly lose the joy of the Lord. Gradually you begin to find yourself deviating from the path of purpose. You just lose interest even in the gathering of the leaves, because the enemy has you where you are. And even some unholy desires and appetites, you begin to wonder, where is this coming from? These were things I once left behind. These were things I once detested. How come I'm beginning to enjoy these things? Why? It's because you're broken up. The enemy is now using your life as his playground. But the Bible says, by faith, you are grafted by faith. So it doesn't matter your past. By faith, you are grafted in. The Lord is speaking to somebody now. If you can release your faith today, you are grafted in. Amen. Now you are grafted into the vine, Jesus Christ. And life from Christ begins to flow through you. You who has once been dead, Scripture says now you come alive. And you begin to blossom. And guess what? The Bible says the last. You came in as the last, but you become the first. You came in as the last, you become the first. Faith is a spiritual engraftment into divinity. In other words, the life of God. When the scripture says in Romans chapter 8:19 that the whole creation is eagerly waiting for the apocalypse, the revealing of the sons of God, it means that sons of God, it's talking about the revealing of the divine nature of God in us. So did you wonder in Acts 4:13, two things happened that blew my mind. Peter in chapter 3 had just healed a man, the scripture says, had been lame from his mother's womb. And then Peter gave a speech. Pastor Samson, this is my bro. He healed a man lame from his mother's womb and gave a speech. When the scholars of his time and the Pharisee and the Sadducee, the lawyers of his time, the intellectuals of his time were going to marvel, they did not marvel at what happened through Peter. They marveled at what happened to Peter. The world is no more looking for what is happening through Peter. There have been all kinds of robotic engineering to replace hands and legs. But one thing they have not been able to replicate is the divine nature in man. The farthest they've gone, and that is the farthest they will go, is AI, artificial intelligence. That's right. So there was not single mention about what happened through Peter. Unfortunately, the church is still camping around what happened through Peter. But the world was marveling. This guy, this common fisherman, how can this guy that didn't go to school be thinking like this? What happened to him? It's called grafting. He was grafted into the divine nature of God. Therefore, the one who is all-knowing was inside of him. That's why it didn't matter if I crossed course. I haven't dropped out of 2 schools and still graduated with a distinction. Because the one who knows all is a divine nature. That's why the word is eagerly. When I study that word eagerly, it means with earnest expectation. Earnest. They are not just waiting, they are earnestly waiting. It's not for our demonstration. That scripture has been long taught by demonstration. It's not talking about demonstration, it's talking about revealing the divine nature of God in man. That is what grafting does to you. It grafts you into the divine nature of God that makes you walk in practical dominion over all circumstances. The same guy who could not defend himself before a young girl stood up before over 5,000 people and defended the cause of the kingdom. One man could not defend himself, yet he defended the cause of the kingdom of God. And people are like, wow.